Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Listen, I finished my show by saying, look, if you make it back next week, it must be a good morning. And I started to show off this doggone disclaimer. Fellas, that disclaimer puts me in a bad mood right off the bat. How can anybody disagree with what I say and disclaim that they need not be with me as we go straight up the middle? And I want to welcome everybody to this journey. To those complainers out there that always say, well, you're not straight up the middle, you're way to the left. No, bro, you're way to the right. I am in the middle, and that is one of the things that we are prideful about on this show here on Straight Up the Middle, In Touch News Radio, reality radio where even you can be a star. And let me tell you how you can be a star. Let me give you the call-in number. I'm going to start it off right and early because if you're out there, and I know I can hear you breathing, and you want to call in and be a part of what we're doing, the number is 813-444-9588. Put it in your phone. Write it down somewhere. Don't think you're going to remember. 813-444-9588. And if something sparks your mind, something sparks your interest, pick up the phone, give us a call. The phone lines will be open today. And if you do call in, we'll chat it up with you a little bit. But look, I had a great week. And like I said, if I can make it to every Saturday like this, I am excited to be here. A great week for a couple of reasons. One, my baby girl showed up from spring break from FAMU on Friday, and she's been around the house. It's like the house just came back to life once she showed up. You know, my wife and I, both the kids are out now. My son's graduated Florida State, and he's in Tallahassee. My daughter's at FAM. But she came in and lit the house up. All of a sudden, there were dishes everywhere, stuff on the floor. I mean, the dog's out of control. It was just a mess. And I couldn't have been more happy than to have that mess going on. And she just really brought the house to life. And then we doubled down. My son showed up and a couple of his friends showed up. And I was about to complain about my son's hairdo till his friends showed up and his hair looked much worse. So I felt good about myself then. But they are just really great kids, and we've enjoyed having them for spring break. But listen, this is what they're doing today. Their aunt, Melissa Melvin of Melvet, is hosting a pop-up boutique. And if you're a fashionista, you love fashion, you know these happen twice a year. Over at Tampa Park Plaza, I think it's called the Venue or the Vox or the Lux or the Lux. It's Tampa Park Plaza, the Tampa people. But the pop-up boutique is there today from 9 o'clock till about 5 o'clock. If you're into high fashion, it is a great place to be. And for ladies, it's really an event. It is where there's fashion, but there are refreshments. They have a little dessert table and some beverages. And usually there's a couple guys standing around in some medium shirts, real tight, tucked up under their shoulders. So a lot of eye candy for the ladies. So if you're out and about, want to buy something, thinking about getting some fashion for the summer, go by the pop-up boutique over at Melvet. It's at Tampa Park Plaza over on Nebraska Avenue for an exciting time. Sorry, so yeah, like I said, great week this week, but it would not be complete if I did not take a moment to say that this show is this show because of you, our listeners, and we really, really appreciate you and the opportunity to be here. Now, we talked last week about the election. We've had some local elections, and all politics start local and go from there. They start local and go from there. If you, it's like building a strong family. You start in your house, and then you work out from there. And so local elections are key, and we are trying to, for our national audience, unpack a little bit of what's happening with our elections. So a couple weeks ago, we had a local candidate in, and this week we have another local candidate in. We have with us this morning none other than Dr. Sonia Brookins. Good morning, Dr. Brookins. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you for having me on the show.
All right, let me get this out the way. Bell, help me out, Bell. So Dr. Brookins is running for Tampa City Council District 1.
Correct.
And we're in the runoff. Can we get this up on the video there, Bell? Can we get that? Are you able to get that up for the people to see? Just want to show y'all. This is the advertisement in the In Touch News magazine. Take a look at that. If you don't have the magazine, you can go to the website, intouchnews.com. It's there. So we have got Dr. Brookins here in studio. Dr. Brookins, I think you're about as Tampa can be, aren't you?
I am born and raised here. Been here most of my life, except when I went off to college and did some traveling.
Got it. Okay, I'm just gonna test you out because that is. If you're from, what neighborhood are you from in Tampa?
I'm from Jackson Heights. On my father's side and my mother's side, I'm out of Ybor City. I lived in a place called The Bottom.
Uh-oh, whoa. Now, listen, I was about to check your bona fides, but you already got there. So I was about to say, see, most people now refer to Jackson Heights, Belmont Heights, and all of that as East Tampa.
Yes, East Tampa.
So for the real Tampa folks, when you say Belmont Heights or Bama Heights, whichever one you want to use, depending on level of education, it tells me whether you're really authentic. So that is outstanding. And what high school did you go to?
Chamberlain High School.
Oh, well, you lost some points there. All right.
Uh-oh.
That's okay though. No, listen, look. We had our run-ins. I'm from Jefferson, grew up in West Tampa, and we used to battle with Chamberlain back in the day. So tell me about how kind of your history in Tampa, kind of how led you to politics.
Well, as a little girl, I always wanted to go into politics, but I didn't think my parents made enough money and they were not in a certain class. So all my life I struggled with that. And then after my grandmother, she had a third grade education. She could not read or write. She was living over in the Bottom, and she finally she purchased a house because she came out of College Hill.
Okay.
And when she did, I happened to be away, and when she did the contract, she didn't know what she was signing. So she was able to get another house, and she was so proud of that house. But the thing that happened, every time you go to the restroom and flush the toilet, sewer would come up in the street.
Oh, goodness.
And that really got my attention that, you know what, I really need to go into politics, and I need to change in the impact of what communities go through, especially when we have grandparents that can't read or write. And she didn't know the resources to go to. And of course, some of the neighbors tried to help her, but she had to deal with that infrastructure problem for a long time of having feces in front of her yard. So this is kind of what drove me to really get involved in her honor.
Right. Let me ask you. So one of the things we are seeing now, and I'm not even refer to Donald Trump. There are people sitting at home going, you know what, I can do that job. They're sitting at home. You know what, I got nothing else to do. Talk to me about some of the things in your life you think you've done that prepare you now to be in public office.
Well, I was a military wife for over 25 plus years, and if that don't prepare you, I don't know what else will. I've been fortunate enough to be an educator. I retired out of Hillsborough County School District teaching math and science, in trying to bring our children, our black and brown children up to have AP classes. Also, I've been an executive director for domestic violence for women and children that are impacted by that. I've traveled the world. I've done several projects in East Africa, Tanzania, in Cape Town, South Africa, Cape Town. I've been in Singapore. I've done work in Italy. So I've worked on various projects in regards to issues that affect the people.
People all over the world.
People all over the world.
Because people often say, well, I've had minimal travel. Like I made it to Hawaii and Puerto Rico, what's the other Spanish country? Cuba. And I've always just been this, whenever I see other cultures, other places, tell me about some of the things you think you may have seen in your travels that you would say, okay, here's how we can do this differently based on what I've seen. Anything that jumps out in your travels around the world that you would say, or is that the same problem we've got? Wow, how about that?
Well, and it is the same problem that we have, and this is something that I've learned. I've had a great appreciation for my hometown. As I was going out working on these projects, I thought, oh, I'm traveling the world. I get to do this and do that. But then something hit me one day when I was coming back on the plane. I said, these are the same issues that we're having in Tampa.
Right.
Why not stop doing this and go back home and fix some of the problems we have at home? They say it starts at home.
Yes.
And that is very true. We have a tendency not to appreciate our own home.
You're right about that. I was growing up. I couldn't wait to get out of Tampa. Boy, I was getting out of Tampa as quick as I could. And when I got out of Tampa, I was trying to get myself right back into Tampa. I was like, I did not want any parts of some of the foolishness and craziness that some people think in other places. So we've got in Tampa a lot of the problems that a lot of cities have. I want to start by asking this though. I want to talk about the problems. We know the problem. Tell me some of the things that you think, well, this is a great thing about our community. This is good about our community.
Well, I'm going to focus on community policing just to create an issue real quick. Tampa is a progressive city. It has moved. But as a black woman, I've seen some of the mistakes that Tampa has made.
Yes.
One thing, my father was a policeman. My brother was a policeman. And I see that when we talk about community policing, we try to form an idea that works both in Hyde Park and East Tampa. And it's not. And so it bothers me when I see police coming into my community and they're treating the people different. They don't, for some reason, they don't have the patience or the fortitude to try to work things out. They immediately want to get aggressive and do things that are uncalled for. So that is an issue that we have in Tampa, and we need to open our eyes to it and act like it's not existing.
But if you were on the Chamber of Commerce and they sent you on a trip to recruit for Tampa, here's why you come to Tampa, you would say what?
Because of diversity and because it is progressive, but at the same time, we have a lot of work to do.
Now, you just threw out a word in Florida that has somewhat become a dirty word in Tallahassee. Diversity. It seems to be under attack. And when you say diversity in Tampa, what are you referring to?
Well, as I'm out here on the campaign trail, I say that city council is not reflective of the people it serves. And this is what I mean, diversity. When I go to city council and I see people handling my issues, I want to see somebody that looks like me. I want to see somebody that looks like the Hispanic man next to me. I want to see an array of cultures up there, because all those experiences change your perspective when you start to deal with issues.
I'm going to get in trouble because I'm going to say something. Mark the tape. I was at the school board meeting, and I did not know there were 6 white women and 1 man on that school board. I didn't know that. And I felt bad that I didn't know it. Then I felt bad for the process because the lack of diversity.
Right.
Even males. We had 1 black man and there were 6 white women sitting there. I thought that was, it just jumped at me thinking, whoa, this needs to be thought through, or maybe there's something afoot. So you bring up the idea that our governance, our leadership, the people burdened by the decisions of those who are elected need to see people reflective of them in those offices, and hope and think that those people are bringing to the table concepts, ideas, and understand what they're experiencing because they have a similar background to them. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying, because all our experiences are different. And I always say that we didn't grow up in the same household or under the same roof. So therefore, all the different perspectives, I think, creates a better discussion, because now I can talk about what I went through when I was living in the bottom. And I can understand when a constituent come up there and they have a problem in the bottom, they know what I'm talking about, and I understand what they're talking about. And I can bring that discussion to the table so we're all on the same board.
Outstanding. Listen, I'm excited. I got so many things I want to hit. Listen, Bezel is over there. He's got his little keys and whatnot. He's going to tell me in a minute I need to take a break. So I'm going to tell him we're going to take a break first. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a break. We come back. I want to talk about voter turnout. You know, democracy is this powerful thing. I'm going to talk about meritocracy and aristocracy and the importance of our democracy. So we're going to take a quick break, pay a couple bills. I got Dr. Brookins here with me this morning, y'all. Hang in there. In Touch News Radio, reality radio. Yes, baby, you can be a star. We'll be right back after this quick message.
Touch Radio is smooth soul.
Rocking your radio on the sounds of soul.
Playing your favorite R&B. In Touch Radio.
Hey, this is Agent Wright, better known as Mr. Clean. You looking for some great barbecues? Come see them 2 brothers in a grill, located at 423 Virginia Street, Charleston, West Virginia. We got ribs, chicken, pulled pork, brisket, collard greens, mac and cheese, baby. Come get some and get you a nice, smooth cigar. 304-550-4431. That is 304-550-4431. Come get some, baby. The Rib Man, mama, the Rib Man.
By now, we're all aware of the dangers of COVID-19. Like others with existing health issues, cancer patients are at a high risk due to their compromised condition. If you are newly diagnosed with cancer, your care likely can't wait. Moffitt Cancer Center is the best place for your cancer concerns and to provide guidance to help you plan your next steps. We're here for you. Call 1-888-456-2839 or go to moffitt.org/here for you.
Call Ricky. Ask Ricky. You need medical or a lawyer? I got the man to do the legwork for you. We tried the other ones before, so believe we hunted down 813-248-6300. Everything gon' be okay. Call Ricky, he coming. He taking care of state of Florida. Grab a pen of sundown 184-361-RICK. That's 184-361-425. Never word from the point forward, just recline. Just ask Ricky, plus your boy statewide. Just in case you missed it, I'ma tell you one more time. 184-361-RICK. Call Ricky, ask Ricky is a legal medical referral service. The doctors and lawyers in our network are trained in handling auto injury claims and getting you the best medical treatment and recovery. Dial 1-844-361-RICK. That's 1-844-361-7425. Ricky. Ask Ricky.
In Touch Radio, where you can listen to a cruising flow of smooth soul and jazz, today's R&B, a fun touch of hip-hop and gospel.
All my music on one station.
Giving you a buffet of music, news, and entertainment. We're In Touch Radio.
All right, we're back live on In Touch News Radio, reality radio, where you can be a star. Again, this is Attorney Clinton Paris, co-host of Straight Up the Middle here in Touch News Radio. Listen, we're going to have the phone lines open today. You don't have to call, though. Trust me. I know you're there, but I'm going to give out the number anyway so you can't text or email me saying, well, I would have called. Here's the number, 813-444-9588. 813-444-9588. My man DJ Bell, see if you can put that phone number up on that screen so people can see it. You know, those of you who can count to 10, you can see what the numbers are for yourselves. So, but we're live in studio, and here I have with me none other than Dr. Sonia Brookins here talking about upcoming local election in the city of Tampa. And for you national, I don't care about Tampa election. I bet you your elections are the same. So the issues we talk about here, I bet you, wherever you're situated in America, the issues that your community is facing are the same. So you might want to listen up, pay attention, and you might actually come away with some insight that could be helpful with you. Dr. Brookins, so we took the break and I was talking to you about voter turnout. Let me just ramble for a minute. Mm-hmm. America is a democracy built on what I call a meritocracy. Mm-hmm. And the idea of the meritocracy is by your personal merit, you can access all the benefits and privileges of being an American citizen. Work hard, pay your taxes, get a good education, obey the laws. By my merit, I can access the benefits of our society, which come through the use of democracy, exercising the right to vote. I see all those tie together. Meritocracy leads to the strength of a democracy so people can come out and vote. I am often baffled by the number of people who register to vote but then don't turn out to vote. They go register, which says they get it. In fact, we're not talking about the people that don't register. Mm-hmm. Those of you who are watching this show, I need you to do me a favor. You're not registered to vote, don't worry about registering. Just keep paying your taxes, and I'll take care of the voting for you over here. Just pay your taxes. We won't worry about you. But for those who are registered, they've said by registering, I care, I'm concerned, I want to play a role. They said that by registering to vote. We just had an election in Tampa. We had 240,000 registered voters in the city of Tampa, according to the Supervisor of Elections website. Mm-hmm. 22,000 actually showed up and voted. Mm-hmm. 22,000 people out of 204. Less than the number of people who attend the hockey game decided who would be mayor in the city of Tampa. That says to me there's a major disconnect between the registered voter, the person who said, I care, I want to be involved, and then the ones that actually did go and vote. What are your thoughts about our voter turnout? Why do we have such low voter turnout, you think?
Well, one of the reasons I heard that the voter turnout was so low is because the mayor didn't have any competition, and they didn't feel that it was a need to go. I think
Okay.
I
hear
think
that.
that's an excuse. And the other thing, well, traditionally, with city council, we don't normally go and show out and show up. I think that's an excuse. And then I hear that, well, it's not a presidential election. We need to understand that all of our power is in a local election. It's not based on the presidential election because we're dealing with issues in our hometown.
Right.
I hear people complain about, well, I don't have any trees in my yard. We have a good tree canopy that will help help solve that problem. I hear people complain about the rent increase. I had a friend call me and, she was paying $1,200 for an apartment. Now she's paying $2,000 for that same one-bedroom apartment. And when they come to me, I say, well, did you vote?
Yes.
Well, no, I don't see any that has nothing to do with me voting. I say, honey, it does. All of your issues that you're dealing with, it has a lot to do with your voting. How do you expect for change to happen if you're not willing to step out and make a change? And it starts with that. And I'm gonna bring my grandmother up again. Third grade education, could not read or write, but she made it to that voter precinct every year. And as a child, I watched her, and I would say, how is she reading this? But she even took the time to realize that she had an impact in the community with no education.
Right.
But yet we're the most educated now, and we can't find the time to go and create change.
So there's a disconnect between people's concept of voting and what impacts their lives. And I remember seeing a program after Hillary lost and with some voters up in Michigan, Detroit. They didn't show it. And they interviewed a bunch of black folks, and they said, well, we voted for Obama, and nothing really that we could feel happened. And that's the problem with top down. It takes so long for a decision to trickle down. So it's not like you vote today and tomorrow, there's a solution for housing. By the time the housing gets built, we 5, 6, 7 years later from the vote. And so oftentimes people don't associate the vote with the actual impact the vote has because the impact is somewhat further and remote. How about this one? I'm going to just throw this out. Say it right. Democracy is very unnatural. It's an unnatural decision-making model. Watch this and try this out. So I'm in the car. I'm driving. I work. I pay the bills. Credit card, insurance in my name, car registered to me, right? But the car's full of people. I've got my wife, who we've entered into a lifetime arrangement to be together as partners, and we both are doing all we can to contribute to the house. Buzzle in the back seat. I got my kids. They're riding back in the back seat, right? We're on the way down the road, and somebody says, hey, we need to get something to eat. Everybody goes, yeah, Dad, let's pick up something to eat. And like, what do you guys want to eat? Somebody yells, I want pizza. I want ice cream. Somebody says, I want Chinese. Hey, can we get this? Can we get that? But there's only one person in that car that's got the money, got to pay for it, and got to drive the car to where you want to get the food. But everybody's trying to vote, right? Now, we take it in. We listen to y'all. We say, no, now you can't have ice cream for dinner. And y'all just had some pizza, right? We need to get something that's going to hold y'all. So why don't we, Mama, why don't we get some Chinese? Everybody okay with that? Yeah, we come to a consensus, but it's not a democracy where everybody has equal vote. I think that's some people's problems. They don't fully accept and understand that, guess what? Your vote matters the same weight as everybody else's because it's an unnatural system that people don't really see working day to day in their life. At their job, the boss calls them in, right? We need some input on how to solve some of these problems, y'all. Everybody gives the input, and then what happens? The boss decides. I think that, to me, is an undercurrent. Maybe a little out there a little bit, but I think there's an undercurrent of it. So people struggle with this idea that you mean I vote and my vote counts equal to everybody else's vote. And I think they should. But what do we do about it? What are those who are aware of this? What do we do about it? The apathy. How do we attack that, you think?
Well, awareness. We have to continue re-educating and educating the public about why democracy is important. There are so many myths out here. I keep hearing people say, oh, I don't get involved with politicking, because we know in the end, the person with the most money is going to make the decisions. And that may happen. We know that does happen at times.
Yes, it does.
But it still makes me feel better to know that I had an input. Once I make that input, I can't control what happens on the top level, but
Right.
I can control what I do on the local level. And this is why city council is so important. We have to start somewhere to make a change. So that analogy you gave in the car, I love it. Maybe we need to attack the public with that same type of
Wow,
analogy. You
outstanding.
have an input. You know what you want to eat. Let's all put our part in.
All right, we're going to have a reality experience here, Dr. Brookins. It's reality radio. We got a caller on the line. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Good morning. This is Carter Trucker calling in. You're having a great show this morning with your guest, Dr. Butcher, is it?
Yes, Dr. Brookins. Good morning, Carl. What's on your mind? What's on your mind this morning, Carl?
Well, I just listened to the show, and I just listened to how she all her credentials, and I just had a question where, they said that a lot of black candidates, getting into politics nowadays, they have a lot of resistance because of who they are, because of their color, whatever. I just asked her, have she ever, said that?
Wow. Okay. See, he's asking basically, have you felt pushback from the community because you're black? As a candidate, as a black candidate, have you felt like, there's some people like trying to, we don't need a black candidate right now?
Well, in a sense, I've experienced some of that, but the most part, no. Everybody has been supportive, and if I can say, we got haters everywhere. I don't care what color you are.
Right.
And there are some people that are going to look at you and say, oh, she thinks she's something because she's educated. And I always say, I'm not my title and I'm not my education.
Wow.
I'm the person with the character that's trying to change my community.
Right.
So you're going to experience that. I don't care in what field and wherever you go. There'll always be a group of people that will not vote for you because you're black and they're black. And
Right.
and that's a myth that we just have to need to get rid of that perception.
Or they're going to vote. Some people will vote for you because you are black. Some may find that they do not vote for you because you're black. But hey, there's nothing you can do about that.
No, it's
Yeah.
about
And,
skill set.
I tell people all the time, and hang on there, Carl. Let me finish this thought real quick. I tell people all the time, if you are Presbyterian, you can decide to go become a Catholic or Baptist or Jewish. You can change your religion. You can't change your race. It's a whole different animal. It don't change, and people know it. You don't have to even tell them. They can see. They can. Before you get there, you can see it coming. Carl, what else you got on your mind this morning that you wanted to ask our guest?
I just think that it's a good thing that our black women are getting into politics, but and we just need a lot more black women getting involved and have a lot more voter education in the communities and let them know exactly what voting really does.
Outstanding. Well, Carl, listen, as always, we appreciate you listening. Appreciate you more than that you pick up the phone and you're willing to call, and we will not, impugn or question your trucking credentials ever again. I know you're out there on the road delivering for us, so thank you for listening, my brother. I appreciate you. Be safe and keep up the good work. Take care, man.
Great show.
Appreciate it. All right, so Bezel's telling me we got to take another break. All right, Dr. Brookins, we done tiptoed around enough.
Okay.
We're going to come back. We're gonna get down to the gritty, the nitty, the gritty, the crunchy, the munchy. What the people want to know. We're going to talk about what you going to do when they put you in the seat. When you get up there on the rostrum, what you going to do? We're going to talk about the plans that you have as one of our new city council members when we come back on the other side. This is In Touch News Radio, reality radio where everybody can be a star. We'll be right back after this message.
In Touch Radio is smooth
the sounds of soul.
Playing your favorite R&B. In Touch Radio.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call Herman White at 961-6661. That's 961-6661.
Nestled in the heart of West Tampa, the Maduro Marauder Cigar Lounge offers a wide variety of premium cigars from Esteli, Nicaragua. In addition, the lounge offers a relaxed environment for you to come back, lay, chill, and relax and smoke a great cigar. Visit us at our brick and mortar location, 1944 West Main Street, Tampa, as well as online, www.maduromarauders.com.
We're playing your favorite old school. Today's R&B. With a smooth touch of jazz. You're listening to In Touch Radio.
All right, we're back live on In Touch News Radio, reality radio, everybody to be a star. Again, my name is Clint Parrish, the co-host here. We started the show. We got the new In Touch News paper that's out, so I want to make sure everybody get out, go pick up the paper. Bezel, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to hold the paper up, see if you can get me. Right? All right, there's the lineup, everybody. All week long, you can catch shows, information, all kinds of stuff that you want to find out about on In Touch News is happening. So please support the station. Tune in, check things out. But as I always say, In Touch News is a full media suite of information and entertainment for you, and just depends on your participation and support to keep the station going. So, all right, so we're here with Dr. Brooke, and she has taken the leap, y'all. A lot of people sitting around, man, I should do something. You know, sitting around, I'm going to do something. Well, guess what? Dr. Brooke, Sonia Brookins, has done something. She is running for city council in the city of Tampa. And like I said earlier, I know we're a national show, but guess what? You know, issues in communities are very similar. You know, very, very similar. So we want to find out a little bit, Dr. Brookins. So you're going to get in office. You know, another person in the seat. But what are your primary issues you want to address? I'm going to say that. Come on, let me say this real quick. Just happened. I heard a newly elected person say, well, now that I'm in office, I'm going to go listen to the people and find out what they want me to do. I went, whoa, you late. You should have did it before you ran, but you're there now. So let's go. You're going to get in office. Give me your top platform issues. What are the key issues you want to tackle?
Well, of course, everyone is talking about affordable and attainable housing. But when they talk about this issue, they keep talking about the first-time home buyer.
Okay.
Let's get everybody in a home.
Uh-huh.
My issue is a little bit different. What about that man or that woman that's in the apartment, like, for example, the example I gave with my friend?
Uh-huh.
You know, I want affordable and attainable housing to be wherever I decide to lay my head, whether it's in an apartment, a house, or a studio. I want to be able to afford it, and I don't want to be pushed out because of the rent increase. I was qualified based on this amount to get in that apartment. I should not be forced to be qualified at a higher amount, and now I have all this stress on my shoulder. So that's the first issue that I want to look at.
Housing. Affordable housing.
Attainable and affordable housing.
Okay.
And another thing, we know we got a homeless problem. The homeless problem has changed. it is no longer as we classified as the person on the street that's unmotivated. Now we have teachers going to work every day, and I have some friends like this. They're sleeping in their car.
Oh, goodness.
They run into McDonald's. They give themselves. They call them a whole bath if that's okay.
Can we say that, Bessa?
And then they go to work and they teach other kids, but yet they're living in the car with their kids.
The working poor.
The working poor, and that touches my heart because these people are out here working hard. The person that works in Taco Bell, making a manager's level, is sleeping in the car. But we have a tendency to judge and not realize homelessness is touching us more than we realize.
And I'll go one other. I guess I don't know what the word is. Housing insecurity. I didn't realize how many people live in hotels.
Oh yeah.
I did not realize hotels are backfilling housing. And full hotel with a whole hotel, it's full plan. Now, I used to do remote disaster relief work, back when I first started my career, and I'd be in a new city for 3 or 4 months, and they put us up at a hotel, and it would be a nice hotel, with nice amenities. It might be a suite where I had a little kitchenette or something of that nature. But I think these are different though. These are where people are there because they can't afford or they can't qualify for housing. They can afford it. They don't meet the other requirements, not been on the job long enough. Right. Credit history is too low. Or they may have a criminal conviction, criminal record or something on their record or something of that nature. And so they can't qualify otherwise financially.
Right.
Than to get into. It's not always just the money. That's a component of it. So housing, all right. So we got housing, affordable, attainable housing.
Right, and I want to say something else about the hotel. I had a pipe to burst at my house, and I went up the street to stay at the hotel up here on Bush, and I was not allowed to stay there because of the same issue that you said. And they said, if you live here in Tampa, you can't stay here.
Wow.
And it goes to show how homeless in the housing population is even going into the hotel.
Okay,
industry.
all right. So you're in office. I would say what year? You have it all solved. Wasn't that 18 months?
I was in office previously for 2 years before that bill was signed.
But this one, you'll have homeless. I mean, the housing issue be good. What, a year? I can come back in a year. It's gonna be gone. All the homeless people.
No.
You need more time.
No.
You need more
we all because all the cities everywhere are dealing with the same problem. I know you're being smart.
But JoJo gonna show up at the door and he goes, "Hey, you said you gonna get rid of this housing. All right, so we got housing. Well, give me something else on your plat. What else you wanna? We're gonna deal with this issue." In an aggressive manner. What else you want to tackle?
The budget. I was told when I first started looking at this seat that the budget, they only meet twice a year. But the budget is not changing. We have residents moving in here. We have 150 people moving in here daily.
Wow.
The budget has not changed. And I feel that the budget needs to be more transparent. And we need to adjust it based on the number of residents that's moving into the Tampa Bay area. How are we going to progress when we're looking at the same dollar amount for more people?
Right.
Because we're really overpopulating the city of Tampa. It's progressive, but there are prices that we have to pay while we're doing that.
What about another platform item? Another platform item that you think is really people can grab onto?
Safety.
Okay, let's talk. Well, now, when you say safe, what do you mean?
Public safety.
Public safety. I can ride on the bus and don't worry about nobody's going. I'll be safe on the bus.
Well, we know that's not true.
Yeah.
There was a situation where the bus driver was killed.
Yes.
If we remember that, and we have to find a way so people feel safe. We promote public transportation, and we know transportation goes along with housing as well.
Right.
But I don't feel safe. I can't afford a car, but I get on the bus and now my life is in danger. I have folks with mental illness that's sitting around me and they're jugging at me and doing things that make me unsafe.
So what do we do? What kind of things can we do about people's concern about, one of the other big ones, of course, in some neighborhoods, it's the shootings. That's a big one. It's people breaking in cars. What are some things that you think can be done to enhance our community safety?
Well, besides us preparing ourselves to make sure we don't leave doors unlocked and we don't put ourselves in a situation that can become more dangerous, is public awareness. We have to be able to reach out. We have to have some type of task force that can help us get this safety under control. Yes, there's been a lot of gun shooting that's going on, and it's scary. Bullets don't have names, and we don't know when we may be in that situation, and I pray that we're not. But we have to be aware, and we have to get back to community uplifting, helping each other, looking out for each other. We've gotten to a point there we're afraid to tell the police and whoever else who did it.
Right.
And we got little John got shot, and I saw who shot him, but I don't want to say anything about little John who shot him because I have a fear for my life.
Right.
That has to stop.
Right.
So we have to create a task force where people feel safe, where they can come out and talk about it and get criminals off the street.
Yeah, there is definitely, I think, a area of improvement available for relationships between certain communities with law enforcement and building stronger relationships. There'll never be in relationships. They're a work in progress. Any minute you're not working on them, you're going back. Any minute, and that's all relationships. If you're not working on the relationship, then you're losing ground. And you take in. We only got a couple minutes. Any other platform items you want to make sure? Hey, listen, this might be something that really puts you over the top. From a concern. Any other platform items that you want to make sure, hey, I want to make this another thing that's a priority for me?
Right, and in health disparities, but that's not an issue that city council can really deal with, but it's something we need to start looking at in our communities with some of the health clinics that are around to ensure that equity is being used across the board. Now, my main thing that I really want to bring up is the incentivizing small business. I believe in entrepreneurship. And when I was a little girl, we had businesses up and down the street. Now we don't have that because a lot of corporations are pushing that small business person out. And I want us to get to a point where we bringing that back into our communities, because so future generations can know that you can make more money being an entrepreneur than you can working for somebody long term.
You know, I think there are there are a list of things that I think give you access to the prosperity of being an American. The prosperity. First one is a good education and set of skills, knowing how to do something. I don't care what that something is, knowing how to do something, because capitalism makes everything profitable. I don't care what it is you do, right? You know, it can be turned into something very right. So education and a set of skills of some sort. That's one. Owning some dirt, land ownership. And the last vehicle, I think, which our system, particularly the tax system, really looks favorable upon, is owning a business, right? And the crazy thing is, I own my own business. Have for about, we're coming up about 17, 18 years now.
Wow, what a blessing.
Well, thank you. I put in more hours than you can imagine at that business, and I love it. I would never work that hard for somebody else. Never. I work circles around my employees. I'm there before they show up. I'm there after they leave. I'm home working on stuff. I'm out meeting clients. I work circles around them, right? Because it's mine. And when I try to make them work as hard as me, they remind me, it's not my business. This yours. I'm on the clock. And the clock just went off. So I'm out of here. You finish this up. And I get that.
Right.
That's the other thing. It draws out of you as much as you have to give when it's yours.
Right.
When it's your, I never worked nearly as hard in my family yard as I work in my yard. You know, I'm on the roof. I'm spraying the bushes. I'm cutting. I'm edging. Man, I love getting out in that yard. You know what I do when I'm finished? I stand out in the front and I wave at the neighbors, and they wave back at me as we all out in our yards all day, and then we sniff the next day in church. But we working in our yards because it's ours. Those are the things I think that is key, Dr. Brookins. I want to thank you for coming in. Do you have a closing statement you want to send out to the people. There's that camera right up there, right under that light. It's calling you. You would say, vote for me because...
All right, vote for me because you want to go with the winner. I am Dr. Sonja Brookins. My website is www.sonjabrookins.com. I am a Tampa girl, born and raised here. I have passion for the city, and this city council should be reflective of your ideas. Please vote for someone that wants to help the community. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming in. We appreciate you. Bezel, let's go ahead and get this last break in, my man, and come back on the other side. I got a few things to get off. I need some therapy. Can we do that? We're going to come back after this, do a little bit of therapy. I want to thank you, Dr. Brookins, for coming in. We appreciate you very much. Everybody, get out and vote. Vote early, vote often. This is In Touch News Radio, reality radio where everybody can be a star. We'll be right back after this break.
So believe we hunted down 813-248-6300. Everything gon' be okay. Call Ricky, he coming. He taking care of state of Florida. Grab a pen of sundown 184-361-RICK. That's 184-361-425. Never word from the point forward, just recline. Just ask Ricky, push your boy statewide. Just in case you missed it, I'ma tell you one more time. 184-361-RICK. Call Ricky, ask Ricky, is a legal medical referral service. The doctors and lawyers in our network are trained in handling auto injury claims and giving you the best medical treatment and recovery. Dial 1-844-361-RICK. That's 1-844-361-7425. Ricky. Ask Ricky.
Hey, this is Agent Wright, better known as Mr. Clean. You looking for some great barbecues? Come see them two brothers in the grill, located at 423 Virginia Street, Charleston, West Virginia. We got ribs, chicken, pulled pork, brisket, collard greens, mac and cheese, baby. Come get some and get you a nice, smooth cigar. 304-550-4431. That is 304-550-4431. Come get some, baby. The Rib Man, mama, the Rib Man.
In Touch Radio, where you can listen to a cruising flow of smooth soul and jazz, today's R&B, a fun touch of hip-hop and gospel.
All my music on one station.
Giving you a buffet of music, news, and entertainment. We're In Touch Radio.
All right, we're back live on In Touch News Radio, reality radio, for our last segment today. What a great show. We had Dr. Sonia Brookins on, and she is running for the City Council in the City of Tampa, District 1, one of two African-American women that made it into the runoff. There's already one African-American female that is on City Council. If these two women win, that'll be three. So you could have three African-American women out of 7 City Council women sitting there. That would be just off the chain. That would just be. We just had our second City Council member. So this is going to be quite an interesting race when it finishes up. You know, and some of y'all might be wondering if you're watching on YouTube. I'm decked out in my fancy bow tie. You know, I don't know how it looks. It looks because this is what I got going later on today, y'all. Check this out. So I am participating in some community debates. And the two issues that I will be debating are, one, are those who benefited from reparations obligated to pay for those benefits? Now, basically reparations. That's one question. And the second question that I'll be debating is, should universities and businesses in Florida include diversity initiatives and policies and enforce them? Pretty low-hanging fruit, I would think. But the mere fact that we're discussing those two topics, Bezel, says to me that they're real issues, right? Because if they weren't issues, guess what? There'd be nothing to talk about. San Francisco today, I don't know if you all checked it out. Go online, check it out. Look up, do San Francisco reparations. Bezel. Here's what they're talking about doing. First package. They just threw this out. I don't know if they're going to pull it off, though. Every black person, you get $5 million. Plus $97,000 for life. Out the rip. I'm like, hey, I'm moving to San Francisco, man. I'm going to live in my car, and I'm going to wait for the final vote. The initial vote to discuss it passed unanimously. And while I'm in favor of reparation, let me say this. We are in a capitalist society that is afflicted with consumerism. So rarely is handing people money going to actually solve a problem. What it's going to do is spend money through, because I'm sure most of y'all have seen the Dave Chappelle skit about reparations, right? And the various things that people go out and buy, right? The one guy goes out and buys him a semi-tractor trailer of Newport cigarettes. he's just driving around smoking cigarettes everywhere he goes. It's just quite interesting, the idea of that. But San Francisco, they threw that out. I think reparations could be in a number of different kinds of initiatives that are targeted to the things that impacted people when we came out of slavery that are still affecting us now. But it's going to be an exciting time. These are the Toba Leadership Institute debates that we're going to have, Bezel. It's going to be a really, really good time. I just want to encourage everybody, and I only have a couple more minutes here, that engage yourself in your community. We were talking about voting. And if you vote people in, then things like the San Francisco, you vote the right people in, the San Francisco reparations, they get on the table. Now, I don't know if they're going to get this through or not, Bezel. I don't know. $5 million ahead, $97,000 for life. It's a good starting point. You get with a hoop to make it out there. We can get some bread, peanut butter, and jelly, man. All we need is gas and just keep riding. Go out there and start and wait it out and see what happens. But if we vote, and that's why we want to have someone in and talk about local elections. If we vote, then you can get people in who can advance and push policies that are reflective of what the people want and desire. And I just hope that people take that to heart. I want to ask a favor of all my listeners out there. Do me a favor. Hang around. Go get your coffee, get a donut or two, or whatever you may need. But sit around, because when I finish up and they take this break, on the back end of this thing, we got a new show that's been that debuted last week, Woke. Stay woke, everybody. Get into it. Understand what it's about. And really, because there's some misconceptions about what that is about. It really is about an awareness. Because guess what? We're no longer going to be duped by the system that has been oppressing black people. We're going to get this thing on the right track, or I'm going to stop paying taxes. But if I pay my taxes, we're going to get this thing on the right track. I want to thank everybody for listening in. We appreciate you very much. Hang around for the next show coming up at 11 o'clock. Stay woke, everybody. It's going to come up right after I finish up. This is In Touch News Radio, reality radio, where even you can be a star. See you next week, everybody. Bye-bye. All right, man, I got to run. Go to my debates.